welcome back to my channel. I am the Concrete Catwalk. I am a reseller on Poshmark. So for those of you who are new here, welcome and thank you for stopping by and checking me out. For those of you who are returning, my catwalkers, thank you. So today's video is going to be a little different. I actually want to show you a couple of items that I thrifted. And first things first is starting with this So Soft jumpsuit. This is actually a mechanic's jumpsuit, and this cost me all of $3.99 at Unique Thrift. Saw it and I touched it. This is so super soft. I decided I would accent it with my Hermes belt and just keep any adornment really simple. I just have on my watch and a pair of sunnies. I have on a pair of sandals because I just wanted to show it doesn't take a whole lot to do this. This is a real simple chic. I would actually fly in this if I were getting ready to go away. Zip it up and it's done. All of $3.99. Stylish. The next thing that I want to show you is this beautiful Missoni knit dress. Pick this dress up thrifting. I think there's a slip under here. M. Missoni is in the tag. M. Missoni. You can see the M. Missoni. I tried it on and I actually like this. It was about $6.99. M. Missoni knit dress. And the last thing that I want to show you guys that I snagged is this beauty of a bag. Now, as you guys know, if you see my postings on Instagram, I have a vintage Hermes her bag, and I love it. I love it to death. It's a convertible. This I thrifted. This is an Hermes zip size 31 with the strap. And when I found this, and I usually go far out in my travels, I could have passed out the flap that's on the back. And as you can see, the price tag on the back, I paid, you will die. I paid $20 for this because they didn't know what they had. And I'm like, okay, get it, gone. But this is super gorgeous. And I left the tag on the back so you can see what I paid for it. But it's funny because when I got it to the counter, the first thing the lady said was, oh my God. And I said, oh my God too. So she knew what I found. It has the long strap. It unscrews here if you would want to change it out. The lack is on the back, but of course there's nothing to change out with this because it was purchased in the condition that it's in. But one of those awesome finds, and I am in love with it. So let's get into talk today. In fact, I'm going to scoot up a little bit. I'm going to talk about this whole thing about Recommerce. I came across an article. We were talking about this whole thing about Recommerce, not just e-commerce, but Recommerce, which is this whole resale situation that we're in with so many people jumping in and wanting to sell gently loved, pre-loved, really new items. Everybody wants to jump into this game, and I think that there's room enough for everybody. But the interesting thing that this article harped upon was consumers are no longer just a certain segment, meaning the customer who was interested in looking for pre-loved items, it's no longer reserved to just a somebody else's customer scenario. Essentially, this person or this customer who's interested in pre-loved items now is everybody's customer. And I say that to say that the article was targeting the fact that big box retailers have jumped into this game. I know you guys know Nordstrom's has jumped into this game. TJ Maxx has jumped into that whole resale market game. But the interesting thing about this is that they brought up The RealReal. And they said that The RealReal was instrumental beginning target for Recommerce. And I read it again, and I'm like, huh? Saying how The RealReal and ThredUp are like this whole resale market. And I thought about it and I'm like, well, no, not really. Because if you want to take it back to the beginning and you want to get into this whole thing where it really started, let's get into the fact that it was eBay first that gave sellers, you and I, the opportunity to decide things that we don't want in our closets, whether it was clothes, accessories, whatever, furniture, whatever. That's the first real platform that gave way to this whole business of e-commerce and recommerce. So if you want to take it back to the beginning, you may want to start in the early 2000s, 2000 to be exact, where it all began. It's even more interesting how the article mentioning the fact that there's this, or was this line between new and pre-loved fashion going towards Macy's and saying that it has a situation where it has a setup where new and used items can compete against each other. And bottom line is that what initially started as a grassroots base, meaning people just being interested in wanting to just sell their wares, and you want to take it back further than eBay, let's just call it a flea market. What I see is the biggest differential is that this all became an online game, and that is what changed the focus of those big high-end retailers, whether it's Nordstrom's, Macy's, whomever, Saks, Fifth Avenue, they realized they were missing out on a piece of the pie. It started getting really real, and I'll say really real at about 2010, 2011. That's when everybody started paying attention, especially when you start introducing these resale platforms like your Poshmarks and your Mercaris and whoever else, your Etsy's. That's when it started waking people up. That's when it started waking up Wall Street, and everyone who was not on board with resale of pre-loved goods, when they realized how lucrative it was, that's when the focus changed. For those of us who've been in this situation for the long haul, meaning selling and finding things and turning it over, for a margin of profit, this is not a fly-by-night situation. I don't think that anyone who's been doing this, and I will say beyond 5 to 7 years, no one who's been doing it for that amount of time is in it just for a smaller business entity. How do you keep it so that you're able to compete with those big box retailers who've now taken a shine to it? Because I have a feeling that once they go through that cycle, it's just like fashion. Once something goes in style, or it's on trend and everybody's doing it, we all know what happens. People eventually lose interest. The idea with doing this, with doing Recommerce, is be consistent. Don't worry about what goes on with these big box retailers, or everybody's now jumping on board with resale, because what they don't understand is that not just having one of something, it's not just having several of some things. It's about being able to make it so that it is fair across the board to everyone who may have an interest in a particular item. And I think that that's the whole point in terms of why people chose to go the route of the eBays, or to go the route of looking for something outside of it being brand spanking new. And I don't see the point in going to look for something pre-loved on Nordstrom's website, or looking for something pre-loved on Macy's website. I don't see where it's much of a bargain as it is dealing with one individual small business seller who understands what they have, and they want to give the excellent feeling to another person who's interested in the item genuinely, and not just behind the scenes, oh, it's going to turn a profit and it's over and done with. And I don't feel like you would get that same experience with going with a big box retailer to buy something pre-loved. I don't see it. It's a business. We all know it's a business, but for myself, what I like about being a smaller size business and a reseller is the fact that there is a one-on-one connection with the sale. Once the sale happens, I'm dealing with just that individual. I'm not dealing with multitudes of customers in bulk. Yes, over the course of 30 days, it may be 11, 12, 13, 14, 20 people who purchase, but it's not the same as having 200, 300, 400 people purchase over the course of an 8-hour day. Totally different and totally different experience. Look at what this article said in terms of what it was talking about with how these establishments looking at this. I think that they're looking at it pre-calculated. Resale is a $24 billion business and growing, and they want a piece of the pie. And my advice to anyone who's in this resale, reseller, recommerce world is buckle up, be ready, and you have to stay ahead of what's on trend. And I'm not talking clothes, I'm talking about you have to stay on trend of what the business is evolving into. In my wildest dreams did I think that resale and reselling would become as big of investment as it has become. People who are getting ready to join in this have to be ready for the fact that it's an ever-evolving marketplace, ever-evolving field of, let's just call it what it is, competition. Customers have so many choices and places and online sources to take a look at if there's something out there comparable to what it is that they're looking for price-wise. Many choices, which means that you as a seller, you have to stay the course and you have to pay attention to what's going on. And is it getting tough? Sure, it's getting tough. There's enough room for all of us, including the box retailers. Still enough space for all of us to move around in for now. Where this is evolving, we shall see what is coming down the pipeline in the future. But this whole article just made it seem like the Real and a couple others of Recommerce, and no, that's not the case. No disrespect to the Real, but the real is those folks who decided early on, why not have an online auction place? And at that point in time is what drove e-commerce and Recommerce. Period. Anyway, I just wanted to share that article with you. If you guys are interested in reading about resale and who set the precedent for it, US Chamber was the website that shared this. That's what they think. Okay. E-commerce and that whole bubble of that wave was built, the foundation of, in 2000. And then all of those other things happened to come about because they realized that that wave was so big. But enough about that. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about it. Any questions that you may have about it, read the article and let me know your thoughts about it. I just thought it was a very interesting read because the money situation, the game has changed and it's an online game now. These big box retailers who are jumping on the bandwagon. That's all I have for this week. Please go over to Poshmark and check out my closet. I am Concrete Catwalk on Poshmark. Follow me on Instagram. I am the Catwalks Concrete on IG. I typically list things weekly in my Poshmark closet, and I also share those things on Instagram. So, if there's something that you see that you might be interested in, feel free to DM me, and together we can talk about it and work it out so that you can get it before somebody else does. To do these 3 things, please and thank you, because I am trying to grow my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tap that bell for notifications. I post weekly. So if you want to be in the know when a new video goes up, tap the bell and you will receive those. And thank you for checking in, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye for now.